Hello, it's Philly, and this is my kitchen, and today I'm making for you a very quick summer pasta that I hope you will enjoy and won't entail too much heat from your kitchen. And the pasta today, our star, will be orecchiette. I'm not sure if I'm saying that quite right, but this and any pasta, as you know, in any kind of pasta dish can be substituted. But today I'm using this for definite reasons. I just feel like with the style of dish that we're gonna be making today, these little ears, as they call, will catch the sauce and give a great texture to a super simple pasta. So when you're doing something really simple with pasta, it's really good to have your actual pasta be part of the star because that kind of elevates the whole experience. So I'm really excited about this recipe because it harkens from one that I had at a restaurant in New York City. Hello, Barbara. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that, right? Some of the terms of the pasta, I'm always like doing my absolute best. But being a reading teacher, sometimes I go a little crazy on the phonics. So, but in any event, the story behind this pasta is I was in the city, New York City with my sister. And it was years ago, back when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was super popular. I don't know if you were a fan of the show, but I was a huge fan of the show. And in any event, I decided that I was going to try out to be on the show as a contestant, which right now completely tickles me. And maybe that should have told me that years and years and years later, I would do a YouTube channel because I kind of had no fear. And it's funny because other things I have lots of fear. But I thought, you know what, let me give it a try. I'd watch it on my couch and think, I could do that. I could be better, maybe. So, oh, hi, Eugenia. Yes, oh my gosh, Eugenia. And as Barbara can attest, right now we are in soup here on the East Coast. It is disgusting. I'm gonna just take a break from my little Who Wants to Be a Millionaire story. Hubs and I were doing all sorts of errands today, in the rain, in the soup, and it was just lovely. So yes, it has been a summer, and it's only mid-July. Hey DS, welcome. Making little ears today as well. Now I will have to tell you, I was, so this is how my brain works. I'm gonna do another squirrel. I actually spoke with my youngest son, Matt, about at some point trying to make little ears fresh, because I've been watching those pasta ladies from Italy, and I'm like, maybe if I watch them long enough and then practice, and if he helps me with it, between us both, we could actually make some fresh, which would be my dream. So, but back to the story. So in any event, was trying to get on that show, and I found out that you could do this application process online, and then you were invited to come into the city, wait in another line, and then eventually take a test to see if you could be on the show, and then you'd have an interview. So my sweet sister, and isn't it good to have sisters or brothers in our lives that really support us, she was like, sure, let's go, let's make it a day, which, you know, is always a good thing for a sister day. So we drove into New York City. She, you know, was with me through the whole process, and I got everywhere until the test. And on the test, I did not pass well enough to make the interview stage. So I was really sad and a little forlorn. I actually wasn't like super sad. I kind of knew that this was just kind of a crapshoot. Maybe I'd get in, maybe I wouldn't. But in any event, I did not make that cut. So then we went and drowned our sorrows in pasta. So at that point, she wasn't gluten-free yet. She was still having these horrible tummy aches, which is why she's gluten-free now. But unfortunately or fortunately, I've never had that problem. But we went to this little Italian place, and I believe it was somewhere on like the Upper West Side. Just to, you know, we had no names. We were just like walking around. This looks nice. And I had this pasta that I came home promptly and told Hubs about. And then I remade it. Now this version is a summer version of the pasta. The original version entailed a basil and garlic heavy, what I would say, because you really want to taste the garlic, you really want to taste the basil marinara. And then the key ingredient, and it was with spaghetti, and the key ingredient was goat cheese was sprinkled on top with more basil. And I think when we ordered it, it just looked so unique, and we ordered different things to split. And that was the takeaway. I was enamored with this pasta. I never thought of putting goat cheese on a marinara, and the combination of the tang and the creaminess was gold. And I encourage you to try it. Now today we're keeping it summer friendly, so I'm not gonna make a slow cooking marinara. We're gonna do some blistered cherry tomatoes. I actually have these grape ones because they looked better than the cherry ones. So really just get whatever small tomato that looks really good and sweet, because that will impact, you know, your final dish. So we're using cherry tomatoes or grape ones, garlic, olive oil, your choice of pasta. I'm choosing Orecchiette for this version, basil, and then salt and pepper, pasta water. It's really simple. You can see it's a very simple, inexpensive, and easy meal. So yes, Maddie, pasta is the best way to drown your sorrows. You're exactly right. And May's agreeing. I think we can all agree. And I will say, my sister rocks, because she is my hero in so many ways. And it breaks my heart that she can't have traditional pasta, but she does find her way with rice pastas and other ones that she can eat that do not give her very uncomfortable feelings. Like, it is not fun when she has wheat products. So, but I do not have that problem, and so I love a good pasta whenever I can. And so yes, and hi Archie, welcome, and it's so good to see you all. Oh my gosh, I stumbled on your name today, LaShandra. LaShandra, welcome. Oh my gosh, we have a wonderful crew. So let's get ready. So I'm gonna put some of my ingredients aside, and we'll start getting some things ready. This is so easy because the tomatoes we're going to be keeping whole. So I just washed them and they've been drying, and so they are set to go. My olive oil I'm going to put over here. As you can imagine, at some point I'm going to be bringing the camera over or this way so you can all watch from the stovetop. But what I want to do first, I think my water is boiling. So yay, because you know the great hack of whenever you're even thinking about having pasta, get that pot boiling so that you don't have to be waiting for it. So I'm going to actually measure this out because I just want a ½ pound of pasta. I could eyeball it, but I thought, you know, on the stream I'm going to be fancy. So I'm going to get my little weight measure, my little scale, and oh, I don't need that. And I'm going to put this on. Whoop, I want ounces. Wait a second. Not fluid ounces, not grams. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to put here till I get 8 ounces. Perfect. 8.22, that is fine for me. So that way I've got a ½ pound of pasta for Hubs and I, and then we've got a ½ pound for later. So we are done with that. So what is your, first of all, I'm curious with y'all, do you all have certain favorite, you know, pasta shapes or styles? And if you like Orecchiette as much as I like it, I think it has such a great texture. Have you made it fresh? And my other question to y'all is, how do you like to use your Orecchiette? Because there's many different ways that I've used it, and I was actually thinking this would be a great excuse to use it in this recipe. So let me put this over here. By the way, Hubs is watching the Phillies game. He's in the room, but he's probably going to be silent most of the time if he you know, decides to give his presence. I told him to make sure he turns on the microphone so we can all hear him. Oh, rigatoni, fresh basil. Oh my gosh, right? In the summer, to me, summer screams tomatoes and fresh basil. Wonderful. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to, before I put the pasta in, it is boiling. I'm actually going to turn it off or down just a little bit. I do want to get a couple things prepped because this is all going to come together pretty fast. What's going to happen is once we get started, I'm going to put the pasta in. I'm going to start cooking the sauce. Will not take long to cook. It's going to cook in the time that it takes to cook the pasta. So I want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row so that, you know, like we don't have any funny business going on. And I got to get the star of our show, the goat cheese. So let me grab that right now. So on here, I'm going to have my ingredients that I do need to prep ahead of time. So I want to get my goat cheese crumbled, and I want to get my garlic minced, and I want to get my some of my basil minced. I'm going to put some basil on at the end because I always think some fresh basil is good, but I do want to have some basil cooking with the quick cooking sauce as well. So I'm going to do the basil. No, I'm going to do the garlic first. Now, oh, that one has, okay, this one doesn't. So these are starting to get those lovely little, you know, they're sprouting. And I know that can kind of affect the taste. So this one is not sprouting. And I'm going to have this count for 2 because I want to put 2 cloves of garlic. But this one's kind of big. So I'm going to get him minced up. And, you know, I love garlic, but one of the things that I find, and well, not I find, we all find, is that garlic does, it burns really easily. And I do want to get these tomatoes to start off blistering. So I am not going to add my garlic at the beginning because it's gonna have too good a chance of burning. So I'm gonna get my tomatoes started, and then once I can start smushing them and making the sauce, that's when I'll add my garlic and my basil, just because at that point it'll have enough moisture there that my garlic will add wonderful flavor as opposed to getting burnt and bitter and yucky. So since there's so few ingredients, I really want to make sure I take extra care that each of these ingredients can shine so that the final dish will be super yummy. So this, even though it's a summer dish, we do have a little cooking with this. So the best summer dishes are ones that don't involve any heat. But I feel like this one's pretty quick. Other thing you might notice is I'm not using a super big pot for my pasta, which again creates more heat. With the smaller pastas like orecchiette and rigatoni and anything that's just not the long pastas, I always try to, unless I'm cooking for a large crowd, I try to use the smaller pots because A, it helps in the washing process, so Hubs loves that. But B, it also, in doing that, it can accommodate it and it creates a starchier water. And that starchy water will be really important for this sauce because not only will we be using when we put the pasta in the pan, but if I don't feel like it's saucy enough, I can add some of that. We know that that is liquid gold, right? So I've got my garlic minced, and then I'm gonna get some of my, I'm gonna tear some of these off. I'm worried that this plant might be bare by the end of this recipe, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, and I might just have to get more basil plants, I don't know. So is anyone making pesto yet? I've been using too much of my basil, so I can't really make pesto yet because otherwise it will be totally bare. So I'm just gonna give these a quick slice, or julienne, I guess. There we go. And then I'm just gonna crumble. I'm gonna do a little more. I really like it to be basil-y. Again, when you're using a few ingredients, you want everything to really have lots of flavor. So Archie says, we can get inappropriate pasta shapes here for adult dinner parties. Oh, so that's like a real thing. Oh, that is hysterical. You know what? I feel like there's something, you know, there's going to be just about anything everywhere, right? And then garlic is very healthy. I know, we got to get Hubs on the garlic train because it is super healthy. It actually is really good for you. And then Eugenia says, we just harvested 90 heads of fresh garlic. That's outstanding. Is that from your garden, Eugenia? Oh my gosh. And do you sell it? Do you have a little place at a farmer's market? Like, I was wondering what you do with those 90 heads of garlic. And Archie says, I'm jealous. And Barb says, I made sun-dried tomato pesto, delicious. I've got to try that recipe of yours. I've got to do that this summer. Do not let me forget. Don't ever be afraid to nudge me, Barbara.
So just to be clear.
Yes.
I like garlic. It's just,
do you?
It doesn't like me much.
Oh, but garlic does
Gives
like
me
you.
indigestion.
Garlic likes all of us, just not vampires. Maybe he's a vampire. Maybe that's what I've been not realizing all this time. And DS says, Phillies are 11 games behind. Join the stream, Andy. Yeah, but they just swept. Who'd they sweep?
They haven't swept anybody.
No, they did.
No.
The last game, they.
No, that was a doubleheader. So.
No, they won 3 games. They literally said it on the news. The people they played last, babe. Okay, we're going to do some Phillies argument. But anyway,
No.
That's what they said on NBC 10, so you can just go to them.
That was before the All-Star break.
No, honey.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Who did they play last?
What, yesterday?
Yeah, the one I said looked like UPS colors.
San Diego.
San Diego.
And they're playing them again today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were, when I think they were using
They
some
swept the doubleheader.
license, but they won the first game too. Did they win the first game with them too?
No, they lost the first game.
Okay. So I am bad information, but I do love my fills. I will say that. You give a bit away, but use enough that it doesn't go to waste. Wonderful. And you could roast it and make so much yummy, yummy stuff with that. And yes, Archie is, I cannot wait to see pictures of that chicken, Arch. She was roasting a chicken today with 2 heads of garlic in the pan and squished in the gravy. Absolutely delicious. I know, LaShondra, he just, I listen mostly. And so apparently when I was watching the news today, I listened mostly. So that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, so I'm going to get my goat cheese chunked. I'm going to get my pasta in, and we're going to start in the sauce. So I'm going to get a little fork here just to kind of crumble up my goat cheese. I'm going to get, oh, that's going well. My pasta water is still boiling. All right, so we are going to get a bunch crumbled here. And and let me ask you, do y'all like goat cheese? Because I do know that goat cheese is a stronger flavoring. It's a stronger flavoring. It's a stronger flavored cheese, and not everyone loves goat cheese. I personally absolutely love goat cheese. I was introduced to goat cheese by my sister. Sisters always do the best things first, right? She is quite the foodie, and she is very accomplished in the kitchen. And she first introduced me to goat cheese in the Chev. They're like, they almost look like a pyramid, but they don't have a point. And you could just dump the goat cheese out, put crackers and whatever else you wanted with it. And it was like the thing I did in the 90s. She taught me that, and I was forever hooked to goat cheese. So, but obviously goat cheese has so many other uses, and the flavors, I think, are just amazing. And you can marinate it, you can bake it, you can, obviously toss pasta with it. There's just so many different things with eggs. My favorite omelets is a spinach and goat cheese omelet. I just think those are divine. All right, so I've got a bunch of my goat cheese crumbled. I do think I should taste it just to make sure it tastes okay. Don't you all think that? I think I should. Oh my God. It's outstanding because it has like this little bit of sweetness and tartness at the same time. It is just outstanding. I'm going to keep this here in case we want to put any more. I'm going to get my pasta, and I'm going to bring y'all over to the pan so that we can start cooking. So let me get my pan on first. My lid off. And my pasta. Oh, I have to salt the water. Don't want to forget that because that's going to help with flavor. And get my pasta in. There we go. Okay. So 9 to 11 minutes later, we will check it out. So I'm going to put it for 10 because I just find that my pasta never cooks per the directions, but I don't want to overcook. I want it to be definitely I want it to be ahead of al dente because I want it to finish cooking in the sauce we're going to make. So I turned on my heat. Let me get y'all over there. Let me toss my pasta in the water one more time. Do a little stir so it doesn't stick. All right, let me get you over there, everyone. Okay, I'm going to bring you over to the kitchen. Oops. Over to, watch that was just the countertop. Over to the stove. I'm going to lift y'all up so you can see better because right now it's like not a good view. Whoop. Sorry if it's a little shaky. Okay, and I'm going to turn you down. I don't know why I'm telling you everything I'm going to do, but it just makes me feel better. So, okay, let's see if we can bring you over. Sorry, it's a little bumpy. There we go. And I'm going to bring my laptop over so I can see the conversation and chat with y'all. So I have my pan just getting warm there. And let me see what y'all are saying. So let's check. Actually, I'm going to put it over here. It'll be a little easier. LaShondra loves goat cheese, so does Eugenia. Loves it on Spanish fig cake with a nice glass of red wine and some almonds. Oh my gosh, delicious. That sounds absolutely fabulous. And DS loves goat cheese with drizzle raw honey, dash of truffle salt. Absolutely. This is great. So delicious. And then Archie says, talking about goat's cheese. Okay, I might not know that joke. I don't think I got the joke. But you know, that's not a surprise because I can be a little bit of a ditz at times. So, and May said have goat cheese bruschetta with sliced strawberries and basil. Yes, or peaches. Absolutely, May. That sounds delightful. Okay, so this heat is going on and I'm getting a little warm here. Let me turn down my pasta because it is bubbling fierce. And in here, I'm going to put about, I don't know, glugs, so probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And get that. I've already been heating it. And I just want to get these going and get some color on them. There we go. So I have it on high right now. I won't keep it on high. It's just going to start that way. Do a little pop in. Now, so this is just for 2. In fact, I want this up a little higher because I feel like I can't look up at y'all. There we go. There we go. That's better. Hear the noises. We got fireworks going on here. Let me make sure that's okay. There we go. So I just want to get a little bit of color, and then I'm going to turn that heat down, and then once they start cooking enough, we're going to smush them. This is just for 2, so I just did a pint. I did think about doing 2 pints because I really like veg, you all know that. But I also want to make sure, I don't know, I want everything to feel balanced. So we're going to do a pint. And you can see they're starting to get some color. And I'm making a mess. It's going to be a royal mess cleaning this up, but that's okay. It's all worth it for y'all. I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit because they are getting color, and I know my oven stays hot long, or my stove stays hot long. And we're just going to let those continue to cook, and then we are going to be doing some smushing. And to help me with my smushing, you can use a wooden spoon. We could use this to just kind of go down. So we have a couple different options here. And this is screaming hot, so I'm going to put this here so I don't forget. There we go. To use that one I got one of those little handle things that I always forget to use. I'm going to get that out. There we go. So Phil doesn't burn herself. All right. So these are all getting happy. I'm going to add just a little salt and pepper right now. I can test the season. Not too much salt because we're going to be adding some of the salty water. Remember, you can't take salt away. You can always add more. There we go. Let me see how we're doing our time. Okay, we're doing great. So we're just going to let those cook a little bit. Let's see what y'all are talking about. I just got it. Baby goat equals kid. Oh man, friends. Okay, I love. Hub, can you explain me the joke? Because I think I'm trying to do too many things and I can't put proper focus on the joke. But anyways, and Eugenia also said we harvested another pint of raspberries today. Oh, it sounds wonderful. I love peaches with everything. Raspberries, blueberries, anything. And then Archie says, when anyone mentions goats, you must always say, are you kidding? Oh, got it. I got it. Okay, Arch, see, you kind of just have to spell it out to me sometimes, but I really appreciate that, friend. I got it. And I'm sure that Hubs is over there rolling his eyes big on me right now.
A little bit.
A little bit, he said. It's a dad joke. Oh, thank you, DS. All right, so then, well, let me see. So we can start smushing these down. Some of them are ready, some of them aren't. Just want to get some of the juices into our sauce. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. We can turn it back up once we get the pasta in there. See, I just prefer doing that. Make it easier. Get that sauce out. And then I'm going to be adding my garlic and my basil so they can start developing yummy flavors with these tomatoes. Look at that. Look how lovely that is. Very nice. See, everything's getting happy in there. Make sure I don't have any goodness there. So let me get my garlic. Okay, so I'm going to here put my garlic. I'm going to put my basil. I'm going to add more basil later on top, fresh. Just super simple. The nice thing is that our pasta water will help us with our sauce so that we can make sure we have it the exact consistency we want. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I can't tell. You know, and isn't that how it is in life? Just the simplest things put together in the best way, they make money, right? Oh my gosh, smells so good. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I just want this to kind of simmer and get happy and yummy. And I'm just going to check my pasta to make sure it's not hurrying on me or anything like that. But I know Orecchiette, they have a good thickness to them, so they do take a little bit. And like I said, I want them to be not al dente. I want them to be before al dente, a little firmer. No, that's still enough crunchy. No, that's got to wait. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we have been having a lot of rain on the East Coast, just copious amounts. So when lots of localized flooding, things like that, rivers are high, streams are high. So I don't know how it is where you are, but it is kind of like that on the East Coast right now. And the friends get quiet. No, that's all good. So while we're waiting for our pasta to cook, I will tell you, I'm really excited about my stream next week. So next Friday, I'm going to be streaming, and I have a very special guest. That special guest is my father, my dad. So my parents are going to be in town, and I have spoken with my dad a few times about wanting to have him come live on stream because I grew up with my mom did most of the cooking. She was a fabulous cook, cooked all sorts of, foods that from her family, from my dad's family. And my dad, though, he made a Caesar salad. And he and I were chatting, and it was in the 70s, and he'll probably talk about it during the stream next weekend. But friends of theirs had taught him how to make the Caesar salad, and that became his thing. His thing was making Caesar salads, and I measured all Caesar salads against his. His Caesar salads are phenomenal. They are so delicious, and he doesn't really have a recipe. I mean, he has ingredients, but he doesn't really have measurements. So what I'm going to do is when he comes to make it, I'm going to try to give you my best measurements of what he's doing. But as we know with any cooking, you also have to taste as you go along because, sometimes he'll make it and it's a little lemony. Sometimes he'll make it, it's a little too garlicky. So you just got to kind of taste as you go and then adjust, as necessary. But I'm really excited that he's going to do that and agree to do that with me on my crazy little streaming that I do. So you don't want to miss it. So that's going to be next Friday at 5 o'clock. And then I'm going to be doing probably just like some slow roasted salmon to have with it, something super simple, because really the Caesar salad is the star for that.
He's fun.
So, he is funny. Well, but I don't know, he might be nervous. So maybe I don't know, this streaming thing is kind of crazy.
He's not going to be nervous.
So, yep, this is ready to go in there. So these aren't quite done, but I want them to get in here, and we're definitely going to be needing some of this pasta water because it's getting a little dry in here. That does not look like that's going to work well. So I wish I had like an in-between one because, there we go, let's get that in. We're going to use this. This will work just fine. And I actually want this excess water going in because that's going to help with my sauce. And I'm going to actually add extra because I want it to finish cooking, and then some of that to actually, hey Hubs, how are you, bud?
I'm good.
Good, okay, I have a few more little ones in there that I want to get out.
Making a little bit of a mess there.
I know. And it wouldn't be me if I wasn't making a bit of a mess, right? There we go, okay.
That's right.
Perfect. I'm honest, right? Okay, so now my sauce is here, or my pasta water is here that I can add as I wish and as I need. So I'm going to get this turned back up because I want this to finish cooking. Honey, would you turn off that
The buzzer?
the buzzer, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, babe. Okay. And now at this point is when I do wish I would have used 2 things of tomatoes. You know, they're like mushrooms. They're like onions. Everything cooks down. I mean, it's going to be fine. But I love veggie heavy things. I'm not going to lie. That makes me very happy when I think if I ever did like a frozen food and a frozen food line, I would design it so that you had more vegetables than you expected, that you didn't just have one piece of broccoli on the broccoli and chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's so many things that go wrong with the frozen foods, but one of the things is that they just don't give you enough of the good stuff. I mean, of the good for you stuff. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more, because I want this to kind of get up high, and I want this to reduce then. There we go. So I'm going to turn my heat up and let this bubble away. So I'm not going to be adding the goat cheese till the end. The goat cheese portion, by the way, and this is how it was done at the restaurant I had in New York City, we will put it at the top of the bowl, and then that's something that whoever's eating it can toss it, into the dish to kind of spread its yumminess throughout. So you could do it a different way. Obviously, you could add it earlier, but I like the idea of like a dish developing as you're kind of working with it, right? It kind of develops its flavors. So while we're waiting for these last few minutes, my question is, what are some of your favorite summer pastas? Like, do you have a summer go-to? I mean, like pesto, of course, you can never go wrong with pesto. But what are some of your favorite summer pastas? Oh, Matthew Whittington, hey. So my dad he grilled. He did usually the grilling, and he would help my mom in the kitchen, and he, like Hubs, was a wonderful washer of dishes. But he did this, he did the Caesar salad, like that was his thing. That's a great question, Matthew. Yes, DS, I agree. That's one of the things, so I love so many different kinds of food, but one of the things I love about Italian is that it is super simple. Just good ingredients, great flavors, simple, a lot of times it can be just a very simple process. And you watch Iron Chef recipe tomato sauce with this pasta. Ooh, I bet you that was good. And cacio e pepe. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
You had it last night.
Yes, I had that yesterday when I took my daughter-in-law out for her birthday. So Via La Costa in Philly. My favorite, as you all know, my favorite Philly pasta place is Fiorella. But Via La Costa, like that is a close second. They make some fine pasta. They do it right. They make their own pasta. It's homemade, and it is cooked. It is cooked right. Okay, now I see my sauce getting how I want it, so I want to check my pasta. I want to check the seasoning. So let me get a fork. Let me check it.
Oh, God.
So I like the consistency of the sauce. My pasta's not quite done enough, so I want to add more pasta water and let it cook. It still just has like that little bit of a crunch to it, if that makes sense. Like it's not like a crunch, but it's not al dente. It's not just to the bite. It's just a little too much. But we're close, friends. We're very close.
Sorry about that earlier. The Phillies are frustrating me.
All right. So how are they doing?
They're not.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. But we do love watching them. They are fun to watch because you never know, like when they're gonna like pick it up and hit. So I know, and it smells so good, Barbara too. It smells. And he wants to go taste something. Oh, Maddie says, check your phone.
Who, me?
And Matthew Whittington says, squid broccoli pasta. Yes, that would be delicious. And pasta with oysters. Wow, that sounds phenomenal. And is La Familia still around? Yes, actually, Barbara, we ate there years ago. We've been eating there recently. But I did see that they have a special this summer, and I didn't even have a chance to tell you about it, that in July and August maybe, they are bringing back their menu from, because they've been around forever, they bring back their menu from, I think, the 70s with the 70s prices. So that is like their thing this summer. So it is definitely the time to eat at La Familia and get some great deals on their food and their pastas. Okay, so let's give it another go and see if this stuff is ready. Let me see, friends. I thought the seasoning was fine, by the way. I thought, I thought it was salty enough. Yep, we are good. We are good to go. Okay, so I am going to, this is all screaming hot, so I'm going to let this stay over here. Let me just show it to you real quick so you can see a closer picture. And that's not even finished yet. We still have to put more basil, drizzle of olive oil, because the olive oil will give it a little bit of fresh flavor also, and then some goat cheese. So I'm going to move the camera so you all can be back in the typical spot so we can do our tasting and we can do the final flourishes. And I know you're all up way too high right now, so let me just finish some things, get you all back down. There we go. Oopsie. There we go. Okay. For a moment, I thought about like having Hubs be like my cameraman, and then I'm a little low. Maybe I should put up just a little bit so I don't cut his head off.
Hey, Amy, is your insurance information in your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. 1 second. Okay. There we go. 1 sec. Okay. That should be good. Yep. Okay. I just didn't want to cut off Hub's head. Let me put our stuff around here. We can put our basil back over there. Alrighty, I'm going to do my final basil. I'm going to use my scissors. I've told, basil bruises so easily. So sometimes when I do it as a garnish, I just find it looks prettier if we do it with the scissors. Alrighty, let me get it here. Scissors, bowl. Oh my gosh, we're almost ready. And I've got my cruet that has my olive oil in so it can give me a good drizzle instead of a glug. Let's get some of this dished up. Hubs is helping my youngest with something. They're on the phone, so I might have to do this part without him, and then he can always catch up later. So let's get some of this in. Oh, beautiful. Oh, this looks really good. Okay. So I'm going to first give a little drizzle of olive oil. Next, I'm going to, this has gotten quite, because we're a little humid in here, I'm going to just put some of my goat cheese around. And this you can do to your pleasure with how much you like goat cheese. I kind of don't want to overdo it, and we could always add more. And now I'm going to put some fresh basil on there. So let me get that plant back here, grab some basil leaves, and just snip. Now I'm going to snip them on here because I would love to say when I snip it over top of the bowl it's going to land how I want it, but I'm a bit of a fuss budget, so I know I'm not going to be quite happy with how it lands. So we're just going to do that. There we go. Awesome. And I'm going to bring you all back because I don't know what you all are saying behind my back. LOL. There we go. Get you all over there. And that is that. So let me show you. Look at that. Simple, delicious. I've got some lettuce crisping in the fridge. We're just going to have this with a salad. And that is all she wrote. So what I would do with this is I would then mix it up, because I want the creaminess of that goat cheese to get in there with all the yummies. I got some tomato, some basil, and let's give it a taste. It's going to be a little hot, so I'm going to have to make sure and blow a little bit. I'm telling you, goat cheese is the biggest surprise with tomato dishes. It just, and this is a really good goat cheese, I'm not gonna lie. It makes it sing, and it's unexpected. And don't you love a dish that kind of surprises you? You could if you don't like goat cheese, first of all, you could absolutely add pecorino, or Parmigiano Reggiano. I mean, you could put burrata with this, like any of those things. It would be delicious. But what I love is the goat cheese is unexpected. And that is what totally knocked my socks off when I was in New York City all those years ago. That's why I remember it, because it wasn't this dish. This is a nice summer style. But the marinara with the goat cheese and the basil and the garlic, it sang. And it just was something different. And I think as foodies, we love trying different combinations, different things that really, they kind of put our taste buds in play, right? And that's what I love about food, because I think when you can have something unexpected, it just really makes it a great experience. So I'm gonna do one more bite. It is really good. And so easy, so simple, just a few ingredients. Didn't need too much heat over on the stove on a hot day, and I highly recommend it. So good. And the reason I chose, by the way, since this isn't a marinara, the reason I chose the Orecchiette was because you see how they kind of cup the sauce, and then the tomatoes kind of get in there too. So I felt like, since this was not going to be a marinara that was kind of everywhere where the spaghetti picks up all the sauce and the goat cheese, I felt like the Orecchiette would really do a better job of having everything cling to it. So yeah, so this is it. And yes, one of my favorite tools, LaShandra, is my kitchen shears. I love them. This is my second or third set of kitchen shears. Here, give it a taste, sweetie.
Oh,
And because I do everything from, I do herbs, I've cut chicken, I've cut, vegetables, like not like sliced vegetables, but like cutting, just whatever you got to snip off of. It's just great. It's really great for doing that. You're looking at the game. You see him looking at the game? He's looking at the game.
Good.
Isn't that good?
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So,
Creamy.
what's that?
Creamy.
Well, yeah, the goat cheese makes it very creamy. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and have a great week ahead. And I will see you all on Friday. Well, I don't know if I'll see you all on Friday, but, and by the way, as I always say, those of you who are watching this and just would rather just watch and not chat, I just want to let you know that I'm thankful for you too, and thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching this once it's a video, thank you for your views as well. And please like, subscribe, and share.
And her dad's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for y'all to meet him. So yeah, so until we eat again, have a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.
See you.